Friends, welcome back to another episode of No Ma'am. We're back. Oh my god, it's so crazy, Jhoany. Literally, I was thinking about this recap for
hmm
Traitors Season 4 in my sleep last night, and I was like,
hmm
when's the last time that we recapped this? And I know the friends are going to shade us because we have not recapped in a while.
I know. It's been like a month, I think, at least.
I feel like a month is dragging it.
Has it not
Has
been?
it?
I don't know. I think it's been like a month. At least 3 weeks. At least 3 weeks.
So when was the last time we recapped? What was the last thing that happened? Candace's banishment? Was that the last thing?
I think so.
And
I
that
feel
was a
like we talked
while.
about that. Yeah. That was a while ago. Because I mean, we've gotten a whole nother traitor since then. I mean, we have a winner now and everything. So
We do, we really do, we do. Yeah, that was the last recap that we did when it was like the Traitor Civil War. And I was like,
hmm
well, I'm Team Candace. And he was like, well, just to spite you, I'm going to be Team Rob.
yeah.
Yeah. But I mean, I'm still Team Candace, hands down. Like, I'm still Team
Yeah, I'm
Candace.
not.
Even though I'll give Rob his flowers. I think Rob did an amazing job on the show. I think for someone who he said he never watched the show before, I think that's great. He's not a gamer. So he
I
did
mean, he
not
could
know
be.
like but he didn't like he's not from one of like the competition shows, right? RuPaul's Drag Race, Big Brother, Survivor. He's not from there. He literally was on a show where the America just wanted him to take his shirt off. So
Yeah. I mean, he would. I haven't seen that show, nor do I want to watch it honestly. But I think he would be good at like a Big Brother, or even honestly, I feel like he would be good at the Amazing Race because he's very like athletic.
I would say he would be great at the Amazing Race. I
Mm-hmm.
think depending on him and his partner, I think he's because he's very competitive. I
Mm-hmm.
would think he would also be good on Survivor, just because it's he wrangles snakes.
Yeah, I mean
I don't
he's used to
think
being out in the wild.
correct. I don't, and it's also very like athletic. There's a
Mm-hmm.
lot of athleticism that goes into Survivor. They have to play these competitions, and they have to do the challenges, and they have to compete for food and fire and all that stuff. I think he would do really well on Survivor. I don't see him being like a mastermind to win Big Brother. I think
Mm-hmm.
that's very strategic, and Rob is not. To me, in my opinion, and they may cancel me for this, but I never saw him to be as calculated that you need for like Big Brother. I think he was calculated enough for Traitors because Traitors plays into America's unconscious bias.
Mm-hmm.
And I think it worked in his favor that he was white and conventionally attractive.
Mm-hmm.
So,
Honestly, I see what you mean because I think had he been up against a different group of faithfuls, he would not have won.
yeah, I mean, no shade to the faithfuls because they are getting a bad rap saying that this was the worst group of faithfuls ever. I don't think they have watched Traders UK Celebrity Edition because that group was the worst group of faithfuls. Like, that was the worst group of faithfuls. They were all celebrities, mind you.
Mm-hmm.
Alan Carr was the traitor. Everybody knows
Alan Carr.
Alan Carr. He literally at the end, right? Yes, he was a traitor. Now, it's
Love
spoiler
that for him.
because you have to watch the show, so I won't spoil all of it. But there was one moment when he was like, I am a faithful. And then he starts laughing. And then literally, and they're all looking at him. He's like, I just get nervous. Mind you, he's a traitor. And they still thought that he was a faithful though.
See, but like it being Alan Carr, I would have been like, yeah, he's a faithful. Like at least in that moment, I've been like, yeah, I probably would have bought it too. Honestly,
And
I
so,
would not be able to take anything he said seriously, nor would I
right.
think that he had it in him to be a traitor. So I probably would have lost that too. Shit.
Yes, but it's also this one. I know we're talking about the United States version of Traitors, but I
Mm-hmm.
have to talk about the celebrity version in the UK because it was hilarious. There was one moment, and I will spoil this for you because it's hilarious. I literally watch it back so
Uh-huh.
many times, and I still, because I know what's going to happen, I'm still in tears. There was this one faithful. And they were all like in this, I forget, either haunted house or like this cave or whatever. And she farts.
Okay.
And when I tell you, it's so quiet and she farts. And the host goes, what was that? What was that? And she goes, I'm sorry, Claudia. I just farted.
Who the fuck was that? Who
And when
was
I
that?
tell her name was Celia. And when I tell you, she's an actress. When I tell you, I was in tears. And then fast forward to the round table, Alan goes, "Well, Celia, I just want you to know I voted for you because of that fought."
I
I'm
fucking
telling
love.
you,
I
it's
need to
so
watch this. I need to
you
watch
need
this.
to now that season 4 of The Traitors is over, I need you to go watch the celebrity version of UK.
Okay.
It is when I tell you, Jhoany, you are going to be in tears from the first episode to the last episode. They are so funny because they are so bad. That is the worst group of faithfuls that has ever played Traitors.
Yeah, I mean, I love anything Alan Carr. That man just makes me laugh. He makes me
Alan,
giggle.
he literally is the comedic relief of the show, but there is people who, because he's Alan Carr, so he does his Alan Carr-isms,
Hmm.
but it is people who are funnier than Alan.
That's crazy. I need to watch that. I need to watch that ASAP.
You need to, yes, yes. I advise anybody who has not seen the Celebrity UK Traders, go back and watch the Traders Celebrity Edition for the UK because it is hilarious. Now, back to season 4 of the United States. So, going into the finale, we have 6 players. There is Rob, who's a traitor. We have Eric, who was a traitor. He got recruited. There's Mark, who's a faithful. There's Johnny Weir, who's a faithful. And there's Tara, who's a faithful. At the beginning of the episode, we see that Mark gets murdered in plain sight and he has to go to the coffin, and there's like a ring of fire around the coffin. We talked about this. We said from the last episode, even though we didn't recap it, we said that was the smartest choice to get rid of Mark because Mark was the only one that was in the room when Kristen said, "If I get murdered, you have to look at Eric because Eric is the one who did it."
Hmm. That, and I think he would have probably been the most convincing towards like the other players. Like I think he would have been the
Yeah.
one to have the most likelihood to like rile them up and like turn them against Rob and Eric.
Yeah. I mean, and Mark said in his confessionals that he was on to Eric. He was closing
Hmm.
in and he suspected Eric. I just find it hard to believe that no one suspected Rob. Like,
But
I
there
don't get it.
was like small mention, like like he was mentioned here and there, like a couple episodes prior. So it wasn't like nobody was like completely not looking at him. But for some reason, they just didn't want to believe it.
Yeah, and I don't see why. And Kristen said this when Candace got banished. She was like, "I know that Candace left us Rob, but that poor, like that sweet innocent boy, like it can never be him." Like, we need to unpack why they thought that Rob could not be a traitor.
They were enamored by him. I think that's what it was.
Okay, it's hard for me to see it because I don't see it.
But I mean, it doesn't even just have to be like physicality wise. Like it could have just been like his personality that like made them feel at peace. I don't know, because
Yeah,
he was
yeah.
always
I mean,
very like relaxed and like flase da.
yeah. Well, I mean, shout out to Tiffany at the reunion when Andy was like all of it. Everybody was like enamored by Rob, and Lisa was like, yeah, everybody thought he was attractive, and Tiffany was like, not everybody, and
No.
that's true because no, right? I thought it was really fun when they had the "I want Rob R to throw me." I thought that was a fun moment, and I was like, oh my god, that's so cute because
Hmm.
Monet Exchange and Jam Jam was like, "Oh, I want Rob R to throw me. Me too." And then he thought, and it was a funny moment between the two. I was like, "That's great," but I never was like, "Oh my god, Rob," and I'm like drooling over Rob. Like, no.
I mean,
I
I
also,
was, but like I also like as the season went on, I kind of lost that little bit, especially after he ate that egg, and I was like, oh,
yeah, he was getting at one point. He was getting the Michael Rappaport edit where he kept
not as
shoving food in his mouth, and
no,
I was
that
like,
was
"Oh
bad.
god."
That was bad, and I was so upset in the reunion when they brought it back up and showed us the clip of him like who eats like that? Like, that is
Mm.
disgusting. Like, why do you eat like that? Like, enjoy your food. Why are you like scoffing it down like a pig? Like, no,
Yeah, it was. I was skeeved out. It was gross.
yeah,
But Rob even said, he said part of his strategy was to be aloof, was to be unassuming and just like, oh yeah, like I just go with the winds. Like if it blows me over here, I'll go over here. If it blows me over here, I'll go over here. I think towards the end when the pressure was put on him and he had no other deflection or no other shield, right? So he lost the Candace, he lost the Lisa, he lost the big personalities of like Colton and the Robs in which they can pin it on. And at that point he lost the Nat Natalie's, those big, I would say, like confident and boisterous personalities. At one point, I thought that a part of his gameplay was shaky when he was at the roundtable. I don't think some of those roundtables he did a good job of explaining himself. To me, it seemed like he almost gave himself away, but the fact that the faithfuls didn't catch on to it, it didn't do anything. It just fell flat.
Yeah, I think especially that last one where they banished Natalie. I don't think he did a good job of defending themselves, but the fact that Tara was kind of not going for Rob, it just it kind of started that fight, and that's what ended up distracting away from Rob. But had they not fought, I think they could have gotten it.
I also think that Tara needed to. Uh, okay, just play devil's advocate a little bit, just jump back to that banishment of Natalie. I understand Jhoany and Tara's thinking. We don't have the numbers to go for Rob at this roundtable,
Hmm.
right? But they should have let Natalie know. Listen,
Yes.
we don't have the
Yes.
numbers to go for Rob, so let's not take a swing at Rob.
Hmm.
We also think that Eric is a traitor. Let's
Hmm.
try to go me, you, Jhoany to go for Eric because they would have been able to get Eric out
Hmm.
instead of telling Natalie that they're going to go for Rob and then at the roundtables change up and then go for Natalie. Like that didn't make any sense.
Yeah, I did feel bad for Natalie at that moment.
Like Johnny and Tara, they had this whole kumbaya moment. They had this whole coming out story. And like
Hmm.
now they're best friends of like 10, 15 years. So they've come out the closet now. And now they're like, oh my God, everybody, look, we're here and we're friends. Oh my God, hey. And all of a sudden, now they want to go against their own self interest. Like, that don't make no sense.
I don't know. I think they I mean, they caught on at the end who it was, but I still feel like they could have played it better in convincing the other players to vote for those people.
Right. Because with Natalie gone and then with Mark gone, it's now alliances versus alliance.
Hmm.
You have Rob and Eric who are traitors, so they're going to
Hmm.
stick together, quote unquote, and we could talk
Hmm.
about that in a few. And then you have Johnny and Tara, the best friends. So the swing vote is Maura. That is not to me. If I would have felt that Maura was the swing vote, I would have not been confident at all.
No, no, not at all.
Like if my life depended on Maura being the pendulum, all is over. It's over for y'all.
That Maura.
Like because it wasn't like Mora never striked me or gave me anything that said any inclination that said that, oh, Mora was going to have a difference of opinion.
Hmm.
There was only a few times in which Mora said something is because she was over it. She was over Ron and she was over Michael, and so she told him to shut up, right? Because she was over it, and she had a little sassy moment. And when she had a sassy moment with Dorinda, but she still went with the group. It was never a time where Mora went for someone else than otherwise with the group, the majority of the people
Hmm.
that was going for the roundtable. She never did that.
Yeah,
So if Mora was the swing vote, child,
yeah. I just realized Maura never really said anything at the roundtables. At least nothing that really mattered.
no. Right? Mora never said anything at the
It's fun.
roundtable, so we saw because the edit could be
Yeah,
something
true. That's
different.
true. That's true.
She was always under Rob. It
Hmm.
doesn't matter. Right?
Hmm.
That was her only person that she knew. And she said that from the beginning, from episode one, when she was like, oh my God, me and you, we need to stick together because I have no idea who these people are. Mora didn't even know what TV show she was on. She didn't know what game she was playing.
I fully believe that too.
Mora didn't know. She didn't.
She was lost. I
Tell
don't
me
think
about
this
it.
was the right game for her, the right show for her. I mean, kudos to her for
Listen,
doing it, but I don't think it was for her.
child,
She's too trustworthy.
we're going to talk
Too,
about
not
Mora and her
that. She's
trust.
too trusting. She's too trusting. That's what I meant.
We're gonna talk about Maura and her trust in the wrong person. But there was a interview that Monet was doing, and she said that Maura, after the first banishment, at the first roundtable, Maura went to her and was like, is it always gonna be like this? Is it always gonna do are we always gonna do this? And Monet was like, yeah, girl, do you not know what show you on? And she was like, I had no idea this was gonna be like this.
Did she not know what she signed up for?
I don't think so.
Did her agent not tell her
I
what
don't
he booked her for?
Child. Apparently, she was supposed to be on a different season. I think she said she was supposed to be on season 3, but she turned it down because it wasn't the right time. So she got on season 4.
Okay. I mean,
Could
then you
you,
had a whole
could,
another year to prepare.
child? I cannot see her with Boss and Rob and Bob the drag queen. Mm-mm. Nope, nope.
I love that she made it all the way to the end without like with barely saying anything.
Again, I also think it plays on unconscious bias.
Mm-hmm.
And it's crazy because it's unfortunate that it happened to her. There is a moment which I felt really sorry for her, and I'm going to talk to that in a second. But again, right now, Maura is a swing vote. You have Eric and Rob, and you have Johnny and Tara. The numbers are on Eric and Rob's side as a traitor. When I saw them going into the finale with Johnny and Tara, I already knew that the Traitors was winning. Now, how many of the
Yeah.
Traitors was going to win? I didn't know. I didn't know if it was going to be like Rob was going to do a snake thing and like banish Eric. I didn't know. I had an inkling that he would, but I knew a traitor was winning once I saw who was going into the season, like into the finale.
Mm-hmm.
The final mission is a helicopter slash a lake challenge, or they like to call it Loch, because I guess the Loch Ness monster, is in Scotland. So I'm like, okay. I'm like, sure, I
I mean,
guess.
isn't Locke, I guess, just Scottish for lake?
Is it?
I don't know.
I don't know. Friends, let us know. Somebody in the comments, let me know. But for the final mission, Rob and Maura volunteer for the helicopter portion. Actually, let me reverse that. Maura volunteers, and Rob said he is going in the helicopter because he wants to be close to Maura because he doesn't want her to be influenced. And that, the hair on the back of my neck stood up because I was like, so you mean to tell me you want to think for her? And you think that she doesn't have a brain? And you think she's very impressionable?
I mean,
And so that was
she
my
kind of
first red
is.
flag. And I was like,
Mm-hmm.
shit.
Mm-hmm. I mean, she kind of is though.
Mm. But she's not, though. Have you seen Maura's season of Love Island?
I've never watched Love Island. I don't want to watch Love Island.
I saw the clips, and the Maura from her season is very like boss bitch.
Then where the fuck was that this season?
Nobody knows.
Where the fuck was that?
Nobody knows. But Maura was very boss bitch. She was giving real boss bitch energy in her season. It's clips going around. I need you to watch the clips going around on Instagram. But she's like, fuck you. I don't understand. Like, no, all this. Like, yeah. 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 And obviously in her Scottish
Mora.
accent, her Scott like I
Yeah.
think and throw away votes and that stuff. So it's very that. Just think of like bad bitch energy, but just in a Scottish accent. Yeah,
Work. I want to
very
see that
much.
Mora.
Yeah. Everybody wanted to see that Mora, like on the
That's what she
traitors,
was
but for some
from.
reason. Listen, but then you had Eric, Johnny, and Tara, and they were on the lock portion, and they had to match the answers about the eliminated players, which was great. They got all the answers right, and so they was able to get $20,000. But Alan then asks them, like, hey, listen, we can double or nothing, right? It's a double or nothing thing. And so because Maura can't swim, which I'm like, child, me neither. Rob, Rob decides to jump from the helicopter into the lock, and with like seconds to spare, he gets the two, I guess, little like coin
Mm-hmm.
things, and he was able to open the chest, and they complete the task, and they double the money, and the final pot becomes $220,800, and I'm like, that's a lot of money.
That was the first time throughout the whole season I feel like we genuinely saw Robert tired. Like that boy was exhausted. Like when he got up out of that lake, it looked like he wanted to pass out. But he
Listen,
chugged through.
that water is cold. It
I
was raining.
know.
It was cold. He's out of breath because he did that. When he did that dive
I
into the
just
water, that should knocked him out.
I mean, he was under the water for a few seconds too. They were like, is he good? Is he okay? But yeah, he lost a shoe, and I know it was cold because everyone was shivering. The figure
Yes.
skaters who work on ice were shivering.
Yeah. 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 They need some milk. But yeah.
I felt so bad for them because you just see them there like penguins
Yes.
huddled, like shivering their asses off.
Yes. The only one that was not shivering was Mora. She came out of that helicopter real nice and Baywatch running.
Yeah, but see, helicopters are also really cold though. When you're up in that air, it gets so cold.
Yeah.
But she wasn't wet.
She wasn't
But
wet.
that's what
No.
helped.
But it was raining and they was literally the helicopters like what is that? Propeller? What is it?
The propellers, yeah.
Is it? Okay, yes. I
The
don't know. I've never been in a helicopter. Yeah. What it was doing, it was just pretty much giving a funnel
I
around
know.
them. So
Yeah.
that they were just literally in just like a perpetual cycle of just like wetness.
I know. I know. I would have
Poor
loved to do that
things.
in the summer when it's hot, not in the cold.
I mean, but it's funny because that was a Scottish summer. Yes,
No,
they
no,
weren't in the
not in
winter. That
Scotland.
was
Not
a
in Scotland.
that, that was a Scottish summer. That wasn't a Scottish winter.
So do they not have like legit summers like we do?
I don't think so. No, no. That was the summer. That was summertime for them.
No wonder
Yeah.
they so pale.
Also, you realize how nobody really had coats though. Like
Yeah,
when they were doing the challenge and they was going in the
but I
woods,
did.
nobody really had jackets though.
But I didn't think it was like summer.
Yeah, they said it was a Scottish summer. Yeah, interesting, right? I know. Who'd have thought? Global warming is real, Joe. It's real. But okay, so $220,800 is the final pot. Then they're going into the final round table, right? And again, Maura becomes the deciding vote. I
Mm-hmm.
don't know why. When it came down to Maura, I already knew what was happening. The votes
Mm-hmm.
were split. There was two for Eric and two for Jhoany.
Mm-hmm.
Maura being the break was having to break the tie. I already knew that she was going to vote for Jhoany.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I mean,
She pinky
that's all I
promised.
have to say. I know.
She pinky promised. Rob pinky promised her. They did a pinky promise. And that's all she needed to get confirmation that if she votes for Jhoany, that they was going to banish Eric and they were going to win the game.
I think that was before they did that.
Yeah, no,
Because I
that's it.
feel
That they
like
pinky promise.
no, I
They pinky.
mean,
That's why
sorry,
she voted for. That's why she voted for
no,
Jhoany.
I sorry. I thought they pinky promised after they voted Johnny out. No.
No, because they were back in the they were in the kitchen and he was like, "We're gonna win this. We're gonna win this."
Mm-hmm.
It
And
was
I think,
Johnny and it was Johnny and Tara and they was talking and he had Maura in the kitchen with him.
oh yeah, 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 okay, yeah, yeah, no.
And she was like, he was like, you gotta vote for Johnny, you have to vote for Johnny. And
It
then
was like
she was
Johnny then
like,
Tara. Yeah.
Johnny, then Tara, right? And then she was like, well, if I vote for Johnny, then that means we have to vote for Eric.
Mm-hmm.
And then she
And
was
then he
like,
agreed.
yeah, and then
I
they pick a
mean,
promise, yeah. And he was like, we're gonna win this. And he like held her face. And I was like, whoa, this is getting a little too, this is a lot. I'm like, I don't know how this is. This is turning into a lot of stuff happening right now. But Johnny gets banished and he leaves the castle and he's like, Rob and Eric are traitors. And he is hoping that Maura eventually gets to see it, which, spoiler, she does not. Nope. And then it comes to this is my favorite moment of the traitors. I always like the fire of truth. I don't know like,
mm-hmm.
every time it's the finale, I have a tendency to just like forward through until we get to the fire of truth. For some reason, I don't know. After that first one, I'm like hooked on the fire of truth.
Yeah,
Like
I like that
I
moment. Yeah,
live when they could either choose to end the game or banish again. I think that is so brilliant.
yeah, I agree.
I love it. And
Mm-hmm.
it's interesting because normally they have the fire of truth outside. But I think because they had it inside, I think it's because they wanted Rob to wear his overalls. You can't really convince me otherwise.
I thought it was just because it was probably really cold.
And they wanted him to wear his overalls
I was like, oh, it was
with
probably bad weather. But
no
yeah, I
shirt.
can say that.
I think they just wanted him to
I
wear
mean,
his
everybody
overalls with
else
no
was like
shirt.
dressed to the nines, and then he brought
And he
his
had
freaking overalls.
overalls with no shirt. I think they just wanted him to wear his overalls with no shirt.
But they love him in over.
I'm convinced that this season, the producers made sure that Rob was going to win.
I can
I'm
see
sorry.
that. I mean, we haven't had a Traders win since the first season,
But it's funny
so I think
because
it
the
was
UK's.
due for one, and I think they purposely chose him because they knew like people would fall in love with him.
Okay, here's my guess. And this is my, like, if I have to put my producer hat on. They chose Rob. They chose two housewives, Candace and Lisa. And I think those are two really smart choices for the cast. I
Mm-hmm.
think Rob, because nobody was suspecting Rob. Well, we also have to realize that they chose Donna. Right, because she was a secret traitor, so I have to add her into this equation because I think it makes sense. They chose Donna because she was unassuming. Nobody was going to suspect her. I think if she would have played her role up a little bit, I think she probably would have went further than what she did.
Mm-hmm.
So they used a secret traitor twist on Donna. And then they had Rob, who technically didn't have any connection with nobody. So he was always the one for the turret. He was always going to be the one that kind of took the back seat, regardless. Then they needed somebody with a really big personality that could either be a really good, like, faithful shield or just really conniving, and that was Lisa Renna.
Hmm.
They needed a big personality. They either could go fluctuate back and forth, right? They needed someone who would probably put the spotlight on themselves and make it really obvious that they were a traitor. And it's nobody else but Lisa motherfucking Renna.
Yeah.
Nobody else can do it. Then they needed someone to be really strategic and very smart, and that was Candace. I don't think anybody else would have been as really strategic as Candace as far as a traitor goes. I don't think so. The only other person I think probably would have been strategic as a traitor would have probably been Natalie. And that's only because she's a gamer and she's from Survivor, but I don't think she would have been as strategic as Candace.
I also just felt like it would have been too predictable.
True. So they went against the grain and had two housewives. It's the first time they've ever done something like this.
Hmm.
Then they realized, shit, this is working too well.
Literally, because I think they said it in the reunion, like this is the longest the original group of traders has lasted in the season.
They said, shit, this is too well. This group is too good.
Hmm.
Holy shit. So
Hmm.
we need to spice this up.
Yep.
After they had them, there's no way they did two murders in plain sight back to back. Ain't no way. You normally do one and then it's like, let it rock. You're not going to do another one literally right back and make it a big old spectacle because you needed a traitor to get out because they weren't training. They weren't trading another traitor in. They was getting a traitor out.
Hmm.
The faithfuls kept banishing each other and the traitors kept murdering the faithfuls. So
Yep.
they needed a spectacle. The spectacle, why not put the smoke on Lisa Rinna?
No, I mean, yeah, it makes it from a producer standpoint, it makes total sense for them to get rid of, like, to essentially get rid of one of them, or kind of give one up to make for an interesting moment. Because
Correct.
at that point,
And
yeah, you're right. Like they were just banishing each other.
they were good. And I think they thought that them banishing Lisa Renna was going to be the moment that they needed, and they would have been able to recruit another faithful, or just the two, Candace and Rob, would have been able to take it to the top. I don't think they expected Candace to go against the grain and say, "Well, listen, Rob is not. I don't trust Rob because Rob literally lied to our face and said like he wasn't going to vote for Lisa, and then led the charge on Lisa. So I know I'm next. So here you go. Boom. I'm gonna blow this shit up."
Yeah.
Right? And so you can see on his face and on Alan's face, shit, Rob may actually like get exposed. And then when he saw that it didn't work, that's when they put all their like all the eggs in Rob's basket. At that point, once Rob didn't get banished the next cycle, they knew shit, yeah, Rob is winning.
Yeah. I mean, I don't know what he did to those people that they didn't want to look at him as a traitor, but he just skid on through.
He did. And
And like she literally gave them Rob's head on a silver platter and was like, "This is your traitor." And they didn't even look at her. They completely ignored it. She voted for him twice.
twice.
They
After they
just
said that Candace was, after they kept saying that Candace was very consistent in her voting, so she is consistently voting for Rob 2 times, and you still don't understand what she's trying to give you. She's literally giving you his name. And in the reunion, she was like, "Well, I tried to preserve myself," and he was like, "Oh, but you didn't. You injured yourself." And everybody was like, "Oh, Rob ate with that." And I understand what Candace was saying. Candace wasn't saying, "Oh, listen, me saying your name and then getting banished was that means that oh yeah, ended my game." She's like, "No, I knew that you were coming for me, so I would rather leave on my own terms. I'm leaving on my. I'm comfortable leaving and getting banished. Like." I'm okay. Versus you leading the charge against me, and then I don't know because you literally already lied to my face one already. So I'm not gonna let you do that. And if I do go, at least the least I can do. And her thinking is like, I can at least put the scent on you and have them think, hey, and no shade, it worked. Because people kept thinking, wait, Candace did leave us. Wait, why would Candace do that? Well,
but
maybe.
it just pisses me off that it was just maybes, or like it'd be like, "Oh wait, she did do that." And then they would just like forget about that and go like, "Oh yeah, no, but we're gonna vote for Steven or Natalie or whoever the fuck."
Mm-hmm.
Like at one point, you gotta realize you're playing the game wrong and that you're trusting the wrong people and that you have to start
Again,
looking at the people who you thought were your friends because it is the name of the game. It's traitors. Like it could be anyone.
listen, I blame Maura. I literally blame Maura. Maura she was not budging. Maura was very stubborn, and Maura did not want to hear anybody say that Rob was a traitor. They got rid of Kristen. I think if they would have had Kristen, they would have been like maybe Rob, right? They would have got Eric first, and then they probably would have said maybe Rob, and then they got rid of Steven. I think they would have if Steven would have stayed. I think they would have got rid of Eric and then said maybe Rob. I think Steven would have put some sense in their head. They got rid of Natalie. Natalie was like, you know what? Maybe we need to look at somebody different. The person who we never think of is Rob. Maybe Rob could be. And so, because their numbers kept dwindling down, by the time there was the finale, Jhoany and Tara had no numbers.
I
It was a
know.
numbers game.
I felt so bad for them because you could tell it's just like them versus the world essentially. Like them just like, well, we know who it is. We just can't do anything about it because
No,
she's not being convinced otherwise.
she's not. She's not. And we see that at the Fire of Truth. Because the first vote, right, everyone chooses to banish again. And again, Maura sides with Rob and Eric, which makes
Mm-hmm.
sense. We knew that she was. And they banished Tara. And it's funny because Rob goes, bye, sweetie. Like, really, bitch?
My thing is that they could have won it that like Tara and Maura could have won. They could have banished Eric right then and there and then turned
It could
on
have.
Rob.
She could have. Again,
Or the other
the
way around,
deciding factor.
turn on Rob, then turn on Eric.
The deciding factor, the deciding vote was Maura. Listen, at the end of the day, it all comes down to Maura. Legit. It all
I
comes
know.
down to Maura. Like, going into the season, that first episode, I would not have assumed
That
that it
Maura's
would all go down to Maura.
yeah, no.
Like, that would have been the last person. No shade to Maura because I think she's good in her own right, but that was the last person I was checking for, thinking that this game was going to come down to Maura.
Hmm. No, I agree.
Like, so that's the first vote. Second vote, Eric chooses to end the game. But Maura and Rob chooses to banish again because again, they pinky promise. They pinky promise. And that pinky promise is very strong.
Yeah, definitely in the
So
traitors.
right, Eric is stunned. He's like, because he didn't think that Rob was gonna do that to him. And Rob was like,
I made a
I made a
promise.
I
I
made a
made a
pinky
pinky promise.
I made a pinky promise. And Eric tries to get Maura to turn on Rob, and Maura's like, no. Because at the end of the day, Eric didn't know that it was Maura's decision.
To
Like,
get rid of
it was Maura's decision to banish him. It wasn't so much Rob.
I feel like he would have tried to get rid of him to get the money himself.
I don't know. I don't think so.
You think he
Because
would have been fine winning with him?
I think so. Because if he would have, if because literally, like if Maura was the last one between Rob and Eric, she lost anyway. They can't banish again. Like she lost anyway.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, but
Like,
maybe he just didn't want to share the money. That's what I'm saying. Like I
well, I
feel
mean,
like
okay. I mean, he could have
maybe
chose to banish again and then
yeah,
banish Eric. He could have
yeah,
initiated the banishment. He could have.
yeah,
It's true. It's possible. It's
yeah,
possible.
yeah. I could see
Because
that. Like, and I think
he did
Candace
say,
said
would you
that, didn't she?
share? Yeah, because he also did say he said, "Would you?" In his confessional, he said, "Would you share $1,000?" She said, He said, "Would you share $100,000 with somebody you met 3 weeks ago?" So it's
That
true. Yeah,
yeah.
yeah. But we see that Eric is banished, which leaves it between Maura and Rob. And so Maura believes that she is at the end and she has won the money and she's gonna split it with Rob. And she goes, unfortunately, I'm just kidding. I'm a faithful. And he goes, Maura, I am,
And have always been
and
a
I
traitor.
always have been a traitor. And enter the face crack of the century.
She bitch, that was it. That was it. Like she was so shocked and so hurt. She was not built for this game. She was not ready for this game. She needs to fire her agent.
What bothered me when she was like, "You're never going to have a girlfriend after this," that bothered me because that to me was why she thought that he was faithful. It's
Mhm.
because he was attractive.
Yeah.
And to me, I'm like, you literally put all of your trust in this man, right? because you thought that he was attractive. Whether or not that you liked him or not, like you put all your faith in him because he was attractive. Like we have to call a spade a spade.
I want to say something, but I feel like it's gonna get me canceled.
Say what?
Now I see why all her boyfriends have cheated on her.
I mean, she did say I don't
She said
she
it. She said it.
she, she did say that.
I just feel bad saying that, but like I see why.
She did say that. Well, she did say, she goes, this is why she has a hard time trusting people. And I
And
mean,
yet she
Candace said that
still
at the
did it.
reunion. Candace said at the reunion, she goes, maybe Maura needs to exercise discernment. And I think so. Like, she just needs to be more mindful of who she puts her trust in. Because she put all of her trust in Rob. Like, there was not one time where she second guessed Rob, though.
And mind you, they had only met once before that. I
Correct.
thought they had known each other for a very long time. But no, they had only met once, and she still trusted this man. Like she had known him her whole life.
Yeah. And so a part of me did feel bad for her because she generally, I know she like sucked it up for the camera and she was like, oh my God, well played, like well done. If I was a traitor, I would have did the same thing. But in her confessionals, you can tell that she was devastated because she did say, she was like, you've embarrassed me, right? She did say that because at that point, I think she knew that she was embarrassed. Like this is what was going to be what she was known for on the show is
Yeah.
that, and then she goes, I'm a fool. And when she said that, I really felt that she was genuine when she said that.
No, I do. It definitely. I feel bad for her. Yes. And like you said, I think it's because she knew how the world was going to view her, and that is
Yeah.
exactly what's going on. Like people are looking at her and be like, "Well, you deserved it," which
Yeah.
I know I said it too, but like I still felt bad for her. Well, I don't think she deserved it, but she did do it to herself.
She deserved it in terms of the game, like gameplay, because she had really bad gameplay. She didn't deserve what he did to her, like the lying and the cheating and all that stuff. No, right? Because that's embarrassing. You literally trust this guy, and then he literally you find out that he's a traitor. Like in the grand scheme of things, that's kind of a fucked up situation. But in terms of gameplay, she had really bad gameplay,
Horrible.
and we could chalk it up to the fact that she was kind of ignorant to what the Traitors was all about, right? Like some may argue that maybe because she didn't know the housewives and she didn't know the people from Big Brother and Survivor, that, hey, maybe she should have trusted them and not trust Rob from Love Island. Maybe, But her gameplay was bad, was really bad. Yes, yeah. But then there's a lot of there's a lot of people out there who keep saying that Rob is the best trader that
I don't know.
has done the game, and I disagree. I think it's Suri. I know even Alan has said Rob is the best trader who has ever done it, and I think it's because again Rob is conventionally attractive. I don't think it's because Rob's gameplay was masterful. I think if we are being objective, and it's not because I have bias against Rob, I can give Rob his flowers and said that Rob played a really great game. But I've watched all 4 seasons of The Traitors, and I have to say that no one is topping Suri. Not one person wrote her name down in the event, like at the round.
Yeah, no, I mean she's still unmatched. I do think he played very well, but there were moments where he could have easily been caught that they just didn't catch on to.
Correct. And they're like, oh well, like Rob is one of the best traders that ever did it. And honestly, I don't think so because Rob literally until the end when he was the only one and he had to make the big decisions, Rob was letting Lisa and Candace make the decisions.
Hmm.
So essentially, if that's what his gameplay was, and if you think that's great gameplay, then I don't know what that says about you. Because Suri, she owned the turret. She
Hmm.
did. She was a
Hmm.
mastermind in the turret. She owned the turret. She spoke up. I remember when she had to come at Cody and she was like, so you mean you and Ryan are not best friends? When she knew that they didn't know each other. And she played his hand. She played him like a fiddle and she got under his skin to make him eliminate Ryan because it was getting too close. And what I thought at that point, I said, oh, she's winning because that is a mastermind.
About that, yeah, she was really good.
She was, right?
Yeah,
And then season 2, no one, if it wasn't for fucking Dan, no one would have suspected Phaedra as the fucking traitor. Phaedra is what won the Traitors an Emmy. Like, so there was, and she was a traitor. She was literally probably the second best traitor, in my opinion, if it wasn't for fucking Dan. Dan was such a little dick. Like, I'm
little
sorry.
Dick Dan.
He was such a fucking dick. And because his gameplay was horrible, so he tried to blow up everybody else's game. And that's the only reason why Phaedra didn't win. If he didn't blow up Phaedra's game, she would have won.
I mean, I still haven't watched it, so I didn't look.
Yeah, she literally had CT wrapped around her finger. Like if fucking Dan didn't like blow her game up, she would have won. Season 3 is questionable. Danielle wasn't like, she was a little messy, but she wasn't a bad traitor. She was just messy. And season 3, that's when they had a lot of traitor on traitor violence. Like that was literally just a season of, we knew that the Faithfuls was going to win because the traitors was going at each other. So
Is that what ended? Was that what did Robin?
yes, the traitors went after each other.
That's
Like season 3, the Traitors was not winning season 3. Faithfuls was going to win season 3. Yes, because the Traitors literally just went and they cannibalized each other. Like it was crazy. So I saw before I wrap this up, right? I did see that Vulture magazine said that they should ban all of the
ugh,
housewives from playing the
who
Traitors.
reads Vulture?
Listen, I think that's bullshit. Again, Phaedra had some amazing roundtable moments in season 2. She put the Traitors on the map. She single-handedly made sure that they won the Emmy. The Housewives on season 3, okay, I mean, they was alright. But the Housewives on season 4 put that shit right back on the map. If it wasn't for Candace, if it wasn't for Lisa motherfucking Rinna, if it wasn't for Ja, if it wasn't for Dorinda, if it wasn't for Caroline, we would not have been entertained as we was. Go back to Dubai,
Yeah,
you bitch.
I thought that was so funny.
Go back to Dubai, you go. Go back to Dubai, you go. I'll see you in BravoCon. No, you
They
won't.
won't.
Like, what? What? Lisa, you
Oh,
bitch. Like, are you, what?
that was so good.
Who's gonna take care of my coochie? What? Like, now I have to put my bad bitch on and serve?
And then the whole like curling iron moment, like I can't vote her out because I use her curling wand. I thought there was so many iconic moments they had.
Bitch, not you under my face telling me what I'm about to do. Like, what?
No, I don't know what Vulture's talking about.
It's because they didn't like that. They felt that Candace voting for Rob was bad sportsmanship. I do not agree. It is not okay for Rob to vote for Lisa and lead the charge on Lisa, and then Candace attempts to do it the next time, and it's okay for
That's
Rob to do it, but it's not okay for Candace to do it to Rob. Like, that isn't, no. Well, that's
so
not
should
okay.
we so should we ban the Love Islanders too? Like,
But they won't say that,
mm,
though. They ain't gonna say that.
Vulture.
You're talking about bias. It seems like Vulture is biased for the housewives.
Wait, what they do to them?
At the end of the day, right? This is, yeah, it's a game show, but at the end of the day, it is still a TV show.
Mm-hmm.
And all of us, the society, the world, the moment, the episode after Candace was banished, the season was boring. And if you think I'm lying, I'm flying. Because I dare somebody to be in our comments talking about, oh, we don't know what we're talking about. Because I find someone who thinks that the episode after Candace got banished, if you can say that the episode after Candace got banished was entertaining, then I will eat my words.
No, I mean they were they were the stars. After that, it was like we all knew what was
Some
gonna happen.
stars. Some stars.
Meh.
It was traitors, some stars. And it's no shade to the people that was left. But Rob wasn't able to command the episode as much as like Lisa Rinna was and as much as
No, because
Candace
he
was.
just doesn't have that type of personality.
No.
He was too
And
quiet.
so I'm sorry. He might have been good in the game, but he was not a good, like, he's not a polarizing personality. I'm sorry. Like, it's even when he does his interviews, I'm like, yo, Rob is very dry and very deadpan.
Mm-hmm.
And
Mm-hmm.
not even in the deadpan that I like. He's just very deadpan.
Yeah.
Like, where is your personality, bro? I think the most we heard, he was like, there's only room for one Rob in this castle. That was cute. Where was that? And when he said, meow,
I forgot about
like,
that too.
that was cute.
Mm-hmm.
Those are like far and few moments that he had. But it wasn't like his confessionals all the time. He had a confessional moment and it was like, oh shit. Like, I faithfully was waiting for Candace to come in a confessional and say something.
Those are entertaining as fuck.
Bitch, who
You
is
always
going to
knew she
take
was
care
gonna
of
be
my
funny.
coochie? Who is going to take care of my coochie? I just had my wine. Now I got to go put my bad bitch on and serve. Hands down, one of the best quotes from the
I can get on
season.
a t-shirt. You get on a t-shirt.
Like,
Candace needs to
hands
start selling
down.
those.
Hands down. Like, the best. One of the best moments. She was the breakout star of the Traitors season 4.
She was. She really was.
Like, shout out to Candace. I'm so happy that like the world got to see Candace in a different light, and I think it's really great. I know a lot of people were like, "Oh, we didn't like Candace from Potomac," but I think Candace on the Traders is an amazing reflection of who she is. She's such an like a great television personality. She's just made for like media. She's
She
just
is.
great.
I mean, I haven't watched The Real Housewives, but watching the season of The Traitor has definitely made me want to start watching The Housewives.
Like
And a big
Arby's
part of it
commercial.
is Candace.
Like
Candace
the
and
Arby's
Dorinda. Like
commercial. I love the Arby's commercial. I'm sorry. I do. It's like, I give you a beverage. And I'm like, yes. She's like, and it's, I'm like, I love the Arby's commercial. But yes, Candace, Dorinda, I think Dorinda's personality shined on the Trader season 4 more than it did on season 3. But again, she was murdered first, so she really didn't get a chance to do anything. So yeah. Caroline, I think you got to see Caroline in a different light, right? You got to, I think even Lisa Rinna, I think Rinna's book tour is doing really well. I think people got to see a different version of Lisa Rinna. She was a
my
villain
favorite
kind of on Beverly Hills, and now she's coming back and people adore Lisa Rinna. I think the traders did what it needed to do.
my favorite Lisa Rinna is Fabulicious Lisa Rinna. When she was on, what was that, Canada versus the World, I think?
Oh yes. When she was doing traders.
Yeah, whatever. Yeah. And I forgot what it was that Fierce Delicious said. I was about to say Fergalicious. Fierce Delicious said, but she was like, and just for the comment, I'm voting for Fabulicious.
There's a quote from Lisa Rinna. Oh my God. I think she was like, you want to talk about doing drugs in the bathroom? Like, let's talk about doing coke in the bathroom. Or something about like, or why you was arrested for doing coke. But something that she said on The Housewives, and I just found it to be hilarious. Between that and don't talk about the husband, you don't talk
Oh,
about the husband. Don't talk about the husband.
yeah.
Yeah.
That I know. Like even before I knew what the Housewives were, I knew of that moment.
Listen, I think the best Lisa Rinna impersonation had to be Jackie Cox.
That was so good. Don't talk about my husband.
And then she's the one who brought up Harry Hamlin in every
Yeah.
conversation, and every single answer was about the husband. And somebody said about the husband, and she goes, "Don't talk about the husband." Yeah, yes. And she was like, she kept selling her business. Every time it was a different business. It was like it
Oh,
was like wine glass.
I felt so bad for her in the reunion when who was it? It was
Portia.
Portia brought up the lipsticks and she was like, "Well, it's okay. We're not our business anyway." I was like, "Girl, that was like just a few months ago. Damn."
She's like, "It's okay. It went out of business." And she was so genuine too. She's
I
like, "Oh, it's all
know.
right. It's okay."
I was like,
Yeah,
"Oh, I wanted to go buy the
yeah,
lipstick."
yeah. I mean, the reunion was a little underwhelming.
It was boring.
I think they could have pushed the issue a little bit for some segments, but to me, honestly, it was just the traders talking and everybody else was just in background.
Basically. And I don't
And
think
Portia.
anything that interesting really came out of it, honestly.
No, not really. It kind of fell flat. I was
Yeah,
expecting a little bit more because everybody kept talking about the reunion and it kind of fell flat. So,
very.
but friends, there you have it. That has been The Traders season 4. There's no more. But what I love is that they're going to give us 2 versions of the Traders. One is going to be back on Peacock, and that's going to be the celebrity version. So more than likely, probably be Traders either season 5 or season 6. And then if they're going to do the NBC version, which is going to be non-celebrities. So it may be a different version of the Traders, maybe like non-celebrity version, like season 1. I'm not sure if it's gonna be a different name or whatever, but that could potentially be season 5 or season 6. But this year, or probably the beginning of next year, we should have 2 seasons of the Traders. I'm excited.
You should apply.
I wanted to, but it's in Scotland.
Apply. So
I don't want to fly. It's too
you'll be
far.
fine. No, you'll be fine. Go do it.
Maybe next time. I have to see how it goes the first time. I have to
No,
see.
girl, go do it.
It'll be fun.
I
Maybe
think.
the second season of like normal people. I'll do it.
What if they don't have a second season?
I think they'll have a second season. People want to be on the traders. They'll
Fair
have a
enough.
second season.
Fair enough.
They'll have it. I don't see the traders going like away anytime soon. I think as much as how polarizing the traders has been, yeah, it's here for a while.
Yeah.
Bitch, if we can have 18 seasons of Drag Race, I think we can have 18 seasons of fucking traders.
I hope so. If they're good.
The
If they're
fuck?
good.
The fuck? I think we can have 18 seasons of the traders. Listen, you talking about if they're good. Listen, Head over to our recap of the RuPaul's Drag Race and see how we really feel about. Listen, friends, you know what to do.
Make sure you like. I'm sorry, I was thinking about I was thinking about Drag Race and how much we like don't like the season, but I digress. Go watch the episode on that. Make sure you like, comment, and subscribe, and hit that notification bell so you don't miss a single episode of No Mayo.
Until next time,
Bye.
bye.